The press briefing had been routine, almost mechanical, until it wasn't. Karoline Levitt had handled the room with her usual poise, answering questions with precision and confidence. But the moment the reporter's voice cut through the air, laced with condescension, the energy shifted. "Miss Levitt," the reporter's words dripped with skepticism. "Don't you think that at just 27 years old, you're a little inexperienced for a role of this magnitude?" The question landed like a sharp blow, the room falling into an immediate hush. Every eye turned toward Karoline, the weight of expectation pressing in. The reporter, a younger man with a smug smirk, sat forward slightly, clearly relishing the moment. The tap of his pen against the desk was slow, deliberate, as if he were counting down the seconds until her composure cracked. For the briefest of moments, something flickered in Karoline's expression, a fleeting shadow of frustration, of disbelief. But just as quickly, she gathered herself, lips pressing into a practiced, polite smile. She didn't respond right away. Instead, she let the silence stretch, forcing the question to linger, allowing its implications to fully settle over the room. The tension was almost suffocating. Then, unexpectedly, a voice broke through, deep and unwavering. "Is that what we're doing now?" The unmistakable cadence of Donald Trump filled the air, firm, edged with amusement. He leaned into the mic, eyebrows raised as if he couldn't quite believe what he was hearing. His tone was sharp but controlled, laced with that signature blend of challenge and certainty. The reporter shifted but held his ground. "Well, Mr. President, it's a valid question. Experience is important. Surely you agree." Trump lifted a hand, cutting him off with effortless authority. "Stop right there. First of all, it's not a valid question. It's a lazy question." A ripple of laughter moved through the room, tension easing for a brief moment before Trump's tone sharpened. "Second of all, don't pretend you're concerned about experience. You're not. You're concerned about her being someone you can't predict, someone you can't control." A pause. The reporter blinked, momentarily thrown off balance. Trump wasn't just dismissing the question. He was dismantling it, piece by piece. His words came faster now, each one landing with purpose. "You never ask the people who've been in Washington for 20, 30, 40 years, collecting dust and doing nothing, about their experience, do you? No, you're fine with them staying forever, talking, making deals, getting nothing done." Some of the reporters exchanged glances. A few even nodded. Love him or hate him, there was no denying the truth woven into his words. Trump's gaze flickered to Karoline, his expression almost bemused. "Karoline here, she's 27. I say that's an advantage." Karoline felt a strange weight lift, an unfamiliar but welcome lightness settling in its place. Trump wasn't just defending her, he was redefining what leadership meant. "You doubt her because she's not part of your broken machine," Trump continued, his voice unwavering. "That's the real issue, isn't it?" The reporter opened his mouth to counter, but Trump raised a single finger. The sheer finality in the gesture silenced him instantly. "No, don't even try it," he said, his voice brimming with certainty. "I've heard this nonsense for years. You don't respect the voters who chose her. You don't even respect her. You just want to tear her down because she doesn't fit your narrative. And guess what? That's exactly why she's here. And you're just sitting there asking the same tired, cheap questions." A low murmur ran through the room. A few reporters clapped, almost instinctively, before catching themselves. Karoline sat still, her hands folded neatly on the desk, but she couldn't stop the small smile tugging at the corner of her lips. There was something deeply surreal about this moment, watching someone so unapologetically champion her, not just as a spokesperson, but as a leader in her own right. Trump wasn't done. He leaned forward, his voice lowering slightly, the intensity unwavering. "You say age matters. Look at history. Some of the greatest leaders started young. Alexander the Great, Teddy Roosevelt. And here's Karoline, driving change, stepping into the fire every single day. And you sit back and doubt her. Why?" The room was charged now, humming with energy. The reporter sat frozen, his earlier smirk nowhere to be found. Trump exhaled, a faint grin playing at his lips. "Karoline is exactly what this country needs. New blood, fresh ideas. Someone with the guts to stand up even when the deck is stacked against her. You don't like it? Tough. Get used to it." The applause this time was undeniable. Reporters murmured amongst themselves, the tension of the earlier confrontation dissolving into something else, something closer to understanding, or perhaps even reluctant respect. Caroline caught Trump's eye and gave him a small, almost imperceptible nod. A silent gesture of gratitude. Trump leaned back slightly, his voice softer now, teasing. You don't need me to fight for you, you know. Caroline let out a light laugh, the warmth returning to her voice. I think you did more than that. Trump waved her off with a casual gesture. Don't thank me. Just keep doing what you're doing. You've got the talent, the drive. And trust me, that's better than all their experience in the world. For the first time since the exchange began, Caroline felt the last remnants of tension fade. She wasn't just holding her ground. She was claiming it,